While the Spitfire gets much of the credit, the Hawker Hurricane did a lot of the heavy lifting during the Battle of Britain. In-game, the Hurricane comes in the Mark II configuration, available in several variants. First, we have the Mark II-A with 8 rifle-caliber Browning machine guns. Second, we have the Mark II-B configuration with 4 extra machine guns for a total of 12 machine guns, and 2 bomb racks, 1 under each wing, capable of carrying 250-pound bombs. Third, we have the Mark II-C, the most numerous variant of the Hurricane. The Mark II-C is equipped with 4 20mm Hispano cannons. Finally, the aircraft comes in the Mark II-D configuration. It features additional armor and 2 40mm anti-tank guns. The aircraft also received several modifications in Soviet service, including rockets, Shavak cannons, and 12.7mm machine guns. As usual, this video will be broken into chapters, which you can find in the description for ease of watching. We'll begin on the ground with cockpit familiarization, then startup. On our left hip, we have the water radiator control. We also have a rad indicator to show us its position. We have our rudder trim and our pitch trim. Continuing to the right, we have our throttle and our RPM governor control. On the left of our cockpit instrument panel, we have our engine boost, which can be toggled with engine boost toggle. But we'll talk about that later. The supercharger can be found on the left, with in indicating stage 1 and out indicating stage 2. To its right, we have a mechanical clock, and above that are oxygen indicators. On the next panel to the right, we have most of our flight instruments, including our altimeter, our airspeed indicator, our artificial horizon, our gyroscopic compass, our vertical speed indicator, and our side slip indicator. Flaps and our flap indicator can be found by our pilot's right hip. To the upper right of our VSI, we have our RPM tachometer, and we have our engine boost gauge. To the right of our engine boost gauge, we have a fuel indicator selector, which we can toggle with right shift I to switch which fuel tank we are currently looking at. Below, we have gallons of fuel remaining, which will not function in this state. Instead, the aircraft has to be started up for this indicator to function. Below our fuel indicator, we have both our oil pressure, our oil temperature, and our water radiator temperature. Before startup, let's make sure we have the right controls bound for the water radiator. The water radiator is opened and closed with right control equals right control minus. The key command is known as the BF-109/BF-110 and British aircraft water radiator open and close. Let's go ahead and start the aircraft. Prior to startup, fully open the water radiator. Next, we'll crack our throttle to about 15%. First, we'll start the engine by pressing E after we apply the brakes. With the engine running, shut your water radiator to 60% during taxi and takeoff. Prior to taxi, take note this aircraft does not feature a lockable tailwheel. At the hold short, we'll trim slightly nose down prior to takeoff. We'll set our flaps prior to takeoff to 10 to 15%. With right control L, we'll turn on our navigation lights. This will make us easier to see for incoming traffic. As we take the runway, we'll use our differential braking to control our turn. We'll get lined up, and we'll shut the canopy with right Alt C. Giving her throttle. Coming up to full power.
Water brief. This is Acorn, leader, requesting takeoff clearance.
See our airspeed coming alive.
Cleared for takeoff.
We'll let our nose
Acorn,
drop down.
leader,
Careful not to get a
taking
prop
off.
strike.
Out.
And we're going to rotate at around 80. And we're airborne at around 100. We'll raise the landing gear, and we'll raise the flaps. Now that we're airborne, let's talk a little about engine management. Cruise mode can be achieved at 2,650 RPM and 7 boost. The aircraft can hold this flight regime indefinitely. In cruise flight, the water radiator should be left at 40% open. Meanwhile, at 2,850 RPM and 9 boost, the aircraft enters climb mode. This can be held for 1 hour. In climb mode, your water radiator should be left fully open. Combat power can be achieved by setting 3,000 RPM, full throttle and toggling engine boost to achieve 12 to 14 pounds of boost pressure depending on the engine modification. Let's quickly talk about engine temperatures. The aircraft's engine is rated for a water temperature of 60 to 125 degrees Celsius with 135 degrees causing damage. The oil is rated for 15 to 90 degrees Celsius with 105 degrees Celsius causing damage. The aircraft's supercharger has 2 stages and should be switched to second gear at 13,000 feet. Moving on from engine management, let's talk about how the aircraft compares to other aircraft of the same era. With a top modified speed of around 290 miles per hour or 466 kilometers per hour at sea level, this aircraft is not outrunning anything. Meanwhile, the BF-109E4 has a max speed at sea level of 477 kilometers per hour and 357 miles per hour or 575 kilometers per hour at altitude between 12,000 to 16,000 feet. The BF-109E4 will also outclimb the Hurricane at 17.8 meters per second and retains greater controllability in a dive. Be that as it may, the Hawker Hurricane boasts an insane turn rate and can turn on a dime at low speeds. The aircraft turns best at a speed of 142 miles per hour or 230 kilometers per hour. The aircraft should not exceed speeds of 391 miles per hour in a dive. Now let's talk about landing the Hurricane. With our gear up, if we throttle back, we'll get a loud siren to remind us to lower our landing gear. We'll lower our landing gear and our flaps. We'll keep our RPM governor at 100% and we'll throttle back to keep our speed under control as we descend. I'm flying this approach with roughly 70% flaps. I'll open my radiator fully to create more drag. We'll confirm our gear down with the green undercarriage light. Dropping my altitude here, we're going to intercept the glide slope over this town just fine. As we get onto final, we'll slow down to a speed of 75 to 110 miles per hour for touchdown. Watching our sides slip, we're looking pretty good. Keep her nice and trimmed. Give her a little bit of power, hold our speed. Controlling that descent rate. We're going to flare a little bit, give her a little bit of power. I'll hold it for a nice 3-point landing. We'll pull back on the stick, tapping the brakes so we don't get the prop to hit the ground. We'll go ahead and slow down, and we'll take our time doing so. Now we'll exit the runway at our earliest convenience. Alright guys, this has been another tutorial for IL-2 with Plev. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if I've helped you out. Thanks for watching, guys.